Good evening everybody, welcome to the studio this evening. This is going to be a little bit different. As you can see, we have a visitor, so I can't really do any pyrography because it's quite difficult to do pyrography with a pussycat on your knee. So whilst I'm sat here, rather than not stream at all, and rather than kick this fella off because he's not been on my knee for a while, I'm going to play a little bit of a game, Factoria. I haven't played it very much, so I figured I'd have a go. So this is I keep doing first, so this is the first time I've played a game on stream. So we're going to see quite how it goes. So welcome everybody. I know you're probably more interested in watching Junior than anybody else, but there he is. Completely new setup, of course, with done really rather quickly just now to so this fella will stay where he is, and we'll see how things go. It is weird seeing the game stream. New game, I guess, because I do have a game sort of working here. So I have no idea what I want for these. Let's just generate something and see what happens. No idea about what I'm doing. Don't show tips. Okay, I don't need tips. Close. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. So, how do I go tab? Okay. I've now got to remember where all the keys are. So, what do we got here? Got some corruption for a start. Let's see if it goes away. Now, why am I getting corruption? That's not particularly helpful. That looks like coal. It is. That's iron. That's stone, which is quite nice. We've got water. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Oh, we've got some copper over there. So this looks like it could be quite useful. I don't know quite what's causing that corruption though. Let me first of all just turn off the window capture and just see if that fixes things. How do I save game? Okay, I'm just going to try and get rid of the corruption that was appearing on screen. So if I do a quit, bring that back. Now let's try and load a game. That one's okay. That one's corrupted. Okay, well let's load it and see what happens. Close that. We've still got that corruption. It's a bad texture of some kind. Okay, let's take this all the way down and restart it all together, which is a pity because that that starting position was quite nice. There we go. It's on my second monitor at the moment. I'm just going to let it load up. Well, it's actually on my primary monitor. Play, load game. The game looks corrupted. Is it going to load? Yeah, it's loading corrupted. Ah, that's a pity. Let's try and generate a new one then. Escape, quit game. Yep. Play, new game. Generate. Yep. Now we've still got some corruption appearing. Why is this corrupting? That's annoying. You'd think maybe I would do something like check whether this is going to work, shouldn't I, before is this got something to do with the way in which the capture's being done? Probably not, given that. Okay. Let's stop capturing then. Back. Quit. Yes. Exit. And try that again. I'm doing this because Junior's on my knee, and I didn't really want him to go away. I haven't played Factorio for a while, so I can play it with a mouse and keyboard. So I thought I might as well. But so far, it looks like. Let me just load another game and just have a look at. No, there's something about it which is corrupting. Why am I getting a corruption? Because I've just loaded an existing game, and I'm getting corruption on that as well. Properties on that. Capture layered windows. Is that something to do with it? Now you see live on stream troubleshooting. Trying to work out why this is doing what it's doing. I suppose what I should do as well is check to make sure that there's not been any updates. Load again. No. Okay. There probably has been some updates, I'm guessing. Only problem is I can't remember where they are options. Can't see anything there. It's not controls. The graphics are looking okay. Let's try just doing a full screen on this one, and it still looks as though it is corrupted. I never was very good with the WASD keys. That's weird. What is that? Fish. We have fish. I didn't know we had fish in this game. check for updates. Let's have a look and see if we have any updates. No new updates are available. Super Speedy. Hello there, good evening. If I turn it up, the mic actually clips. It's about as hot as it can get. It might be that the game sounds are a bit loud. I am having a problem with this. I don't know if it's being caused by the fact that I'm streaming it, well, or the fact that it's being captured, or it's got something to do with let's see if I can grab a new copy of Factorio and reinstall it. Okay. Let's have a look at what the sound looks like on here, audio. Shouldn't be any different from yesterday, other than I'm a little bit further away from the microphone. I mean, I can pull the microphone a bit closer. That's about where I was yesterday. If I boost it any more, I know it clips because I've tried that before. Bum, bum, bum. So this is going to prove to be an interesting stream, I think, isn't it? Download, please. Let's just download this and see what happens. 1122, that's the most up-to-date one, I believe, yeah. Well, from the point of view of it being a stable release, anyway. At least you get to look at Junior while all of this is going on. Anybody else have any problems with the sound? I haven't changed sound settings at all in broadcasting this from what I was broadcasting yesterday or otherwise. Just a few more seconds to download this. Okay. You think you hurt your ears? Not sure why. If we've got anything corrupted here in the installation, I don't know. Super Speedy, it's odd. I'm guessing. I would say if there's anybody else around that is also having a problem, because effectively I haven't changed any of the setup. I've moved the things around and that's about it. Move the cameras around, but I reposition them regularly. The microphones I haven't changed anything since yesterday. The only difference is, as I say, I was sitting when I'm doing pyrography. I am sitting a little bit closer to the mic, and I can. Okay. Update now. We will see. See what's going on. Let me move this microphone a little bit closer. Okay, that's about as close as I would normally get. Let's go for a new game again. See if this is still corrupt. It is. Okay, well, there is not much point in trying to play that. Dear. No particular reason for it either. They're not. There's nothing. Okay, let's have a look at. It's got to be something to do with the window capture. Has to be. Can't really be anything else. No, we've still got it. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so that's not going to work because I'll need to set that up beforehand. Let's try a monitor capture, or which is which monitor? I can't remember which monitor is which. Try that one. Okay. Quit. Yeah. That's just a straight. Oh, I give up. I do not know what's going on with that. So that's not going to help. I think that what am I going to do then? What I'm going to do then, I guess, is I'm going to have to try and see if I can do some pyrography with Junior on Mini, which is, after all, kind of what you all came for, isn't it? So let's see if I can leave the camera on Junior, and then see if I can work around him. Which is going to be really interesting, to say the least. I'll have to readjust everything. Okay. Edit the scene. That's not what I want. It's not that one. That one. And I knew that would happen, so okay, right. Good. It's working that way around. So what I thought about doing before Junior came and sat on my knee is the leopard which I did in that would be upside down, wouldn't it? Okay. The leopard which I did in scraper board, I was thinking of having a go at doing exactly the same thing in here in on pyrography, but this time getting the face shape a bit right, because that's a bit that's a little bit sort of fat in face. So I was thinking of having a go at doing that. Now, of course, because I've had the lights are all shadows from the lights and things like that. So what I'm going to need to do is to get some trace down in order to trace that down onto the board. So first of all, where's my reference pictures? I'll bet I don't have one for that. But I don't have them. Yeah, okay. Okay, what I'm looking for now is the reference picture that I was using as to what I did with it. Okay. Do I really want to do a leopard? I am wondering about that. I'm remembering all the problems that I had. Actually, it's reversed, isn't it? So the problems I was having before, of course, were with scraperboard and the fact that there's a heck of a lot of dots, black spots on a leopard. Of course, when you're doing pyrography, the black is black, as opposed to the black not being touched, which is what it was before. Obviously before. So it's relatively speaking less of a problem. I am really just looking. I'm just looking at reference pictures. I'm just really trying to decide whether or not I actually want to do this. It's kind of the same problem as I always often have when I start an image and before I start the stream, when I'm picking some new sort of image to use, and that is really sort of trying to decide what it is I want to do. And I will look at reference images for all sorts of things for quite a long time, and just look at things like the leopard that I did last time, and look at that reference picture, and I am just thinking how much trouble I had with the dots. Not from the point of view of them being hard to do, it's just time consuming. And then I'm sort of looking at some of these other pictures and thinking, would I prefer to do a different style of leopard, and or do I not want to do the spots altogether? Would a lion be better than a leopard? Sticking with the big cat theme. And of course, with the lions, you've got the big manes, so you've got some quite impressive pictures when you do that with the mane. Now that is interesting. So let's have a look at doing this pencil wise first of all. Just seen a lion reference that I quite like the look of. So I'm just wondering if I can do a rough drawing of it, and let's just see quite how it looks. This is going to be challenging because Junior is quite likely to object to me reaching over the top of him. Aren't you, bushy cat? He's ignored me for about a week now, and he's been on the desk a couple of times in that week, and he's come up to me as though he wants to sit on my knee, and then he sort of put his paws on me and changed his mind. Don't quite know why, but tonight he sort of, as you can see, he's laid quite happily here, and he just sort of jumped straight on the desk, jumped straight on my knee just before I was about to start and set up for the stream, and then just tucked his paws under and started going to sleep, which is why I kind of didn't want to disturb him really, and why I was sort of sat here trying to make Factorio work. Rain Clouds, good evening, welcome. Yep, you see, you've got what is it? I keep wanting to say telepathic, and I'm wrong. He's a ventriloquist cat, obviously, as you can see. He's throwing his voice. Because you know what they say on the internet, no one knows you're a cat. Let's see if this starts to disturb him, I'll stop, because I don't want to kick him off tonight. I've done that on other nights. I don't want to do it tonight. So, if we're going to do this, do a side-on view of that slideshow on the that you're seeing at the bottom left of your window there. I'm seeing it on the OBS output monitor in front of me, and it keeps distracting me because I keep seeing the picture change. So we've got one of the and the image is composed this way as well. One of the things about composing images, and when you look at somebody side on, and same here with a big cat, one of the things that always looks quite good composition wise is not to put it in the center, but put it off to one side, so that there's, if you like, there's room on this side for whatever it is or whoever it is that's looking to look into. It's just a more powerful image that way. So that's kind of what I'm going to do here. I'm probably going to end up with lines all over the place for this, because I'm attempting to do what I should always do, which is draw what I see, know what I think, and that's surprisingly difficult to actually do, because you always end up, because you have an expectation of where things should be, you end up trying to draw them in, and of course that's not what you should do really. And I'm trying to put detail in there before I've got the main that's two. Okay, so it's going to, so what you'll probably hear me now sort of spending quite a bit of time almost talking to myself as I just try and get some sort of blocking of this, doing it at a really rather sort of an awkward angle because of Junior on my knee, and that's going to come down there, so this is kind of all in shade, which is why we're looking like that. Now that therefore implies that the ear is around there. That's a little bit too, actually that's, And yeah, I'll start talking almost shorthand, along the lines of that's a little too, without actually saying a little too what. And of course, I'm drawing an eye shape, which is wrong. I shouldn't be drawing an eye shape because we're looking at this sidewards. That's, yeah, that face is twisted a little bit the way I've drawn it there. No, you're not like that, Junior. If that's going to be the ear, and that's about, then that's got to come back down that way. There, not there. That face isn't long enough. I don't think, but we shall see in a minute. So that would be where the mane roughly is, up there. And then that goes off down the back of the image and off screen. That's the ear. What we've got is, because of the light on this, the lighting is from the left, so what you're seeing then therefore is some shadowing. Sorry, Junior. There you go. For some reason that lion looks female. So that chin is in the wrong position there. That's probably the wrong starting angle. Okay. You can see these. Oops! Apologise for giving you a quick knock there. This is what I end up doing when I'm drawing. If I'm doing it on the computer, though, it tends to be a little bit easier, just because, of course, you can erase things. In fact, why am I drawing in that space? What I can do is draw slap bang in the middle, because what I'll do is use a trace down to put this onto the wood. You don't like me doing that, so I can actually end up with it in the middle without having an impact on that, because I can when I come to trace it down, I can just, of course, shift the paper over. So if we're going to go from about there to about there, as is usual, then the eyes are about halfway, which puts the eye about there. That's probably too close. What you've then got is an ear which is going to be round about there. All I'm trying to get at the moment is a shape, and I'm not getting the shape. It's too thin, top to bottom on that. It's probably a bit too long as well, which is what's distorting it. So if the eye was there, not that, like that, roughly there, and then we've effectively got the main down there, down like that. That means that the ear is there, or roughly there. For that to come up like that. So that then is the back of the head going down that way, and these are the longish hair. Actually, that's not working. Hello, Junior. Going to walk right over the keyboard. So it's just, there we go. He's now got off my knee. He got tired of me brushing the top of his head. Excuse me. I suppose what I should do is turn this camera off whilst I'm just messing around with that. Not that one. It's that one. Then I don't get you all dizzy and what have you with moving the camera around. Of course, what I could also do with here is the ability to preview what's going on with this camera. I hate this camera. I hate this camera mount. It just doesn't. Then it falls over. I'm not really having a good night tonight. There you go. I'm back. Don't like that. Another piece of paper. I suppose what I really should have done is just capture the screen and do it. Why have I got a dent in that piece of wood? So that's no good. Then I could do this on screen. Now that Junior's gone. Okay. So we've got kind of a rounded chin. I am not getting this at all. I really am not getting this at all. getting that thick look on the top of the muzzle to the bottom of the chin. So what are we doing today? Well, I don't know what you're doing, Rain Clouds. I'm trying to draw a lion. I'm trying to draw a line so that once I've drawn a line, I can put that image down onto the wood that's underneath. Probably that side more than this side because it looks damaged, does this side. And then once I've got that on there, I can pyrograph it. I'm just not having, for some reason I just can't get the image that I'm after. It just doesn't look right. And in some ways it's frustrating because of that. This does not, this cat, I just cannot get. Wow, this is frustrating. And because of the shading, that's going to be quite dark under there. So maybe if I do that, that's too long. That face is still too long. Sometimes I can do it without a problem. When I did the leopard as an outline, when I did the leopard like that, I didn't have too much of a problem doing it, and yeah, that just sort of happened. And quite often I end up either it just happens, or I spend absolutely ages messing around, just trying to get the sort of thing I sort of, you know, either the image I'm looking at or I spent, you know, the other comes straight away, or I spend ages, absolutely ages trying to get the image just to appear, and it kind of is just sort of trying to appear. Jaws more like that, so that's going to come up there. Yeah, it's now starting to look a bit better. Is that starting to get a bit more proportion? We've got, that's the ear, by the way, in case you're wondering what on earth that funny thing is there. We've got a lighting effect that's causing this to black out down here. Now he kind of looks bald, or as though somebody's pushed his hair right back. So what we've got there is basically his eyebrow on the other side, and then the top of his head, which then disappears into the fur. So we've got some fur here, which is sort of starting to stick out, and we're starting to see it curve around. Yeah, as it blends into there. That's starting to look more like a lion. It is, and when it's pushed over to one side so that it's sort of looking into the space, it will look a bit better. But what I should really have done is get out some other pencils and actually start using proper pencils on this, but I say proper pencils. This is a proper pencil I've got here, but I mean actual sort of multiple hardness pencils. Well, I don't actually use multiple hardness pencils all that often. I tend to stick with just one or two, and just use sort of, you know, the harder you press, the darker it becomes type of thing. So an eye socket. Sort of around there. comes down to about there. That's starting to become almost a good enough image in which I could perhaps think about applying that to the board in order to pyrograph. Now the main is this is long hair, so I'm actually using long strokes. That way you actually see sort of long hair. You know, short hairs like around there. Then you know, give a different texture. Oh, Strange Tomorrow, thank you for reminding me. I was trying to do so earlier. Let me change back. I was trying to do so earlier, and thanks for reminding me, Strange Tomorrow. But I was getting corruption of some of the squares in Factorio. For some reason I could not work out. I don't know if it's something to do with me broadcasting it, or whether it was to do with just the game itself. And I spent about 20-30 minutes trying to sort it out. The reason I was playing Factorio, because I normally stream creative, but the reason I was playing Factorio is I had one of our pussycats just before the stream. Excuse me, just before the stream, he'd been ignoring me for a week, and he came and he actually laid on my knee. And I know the guys that normally watch quite enjoy seeing Junior, and I didn't really want to disturb him because he'd only just he'd only just turned up, and trying to do pyrography or drawing across the top of him. He's forever getting up and moving around and sitting back down, and it just makes it really difficult to do anything. So I was trying to play Factorio and wasn't really succeeding because of the corruption problem. And then he got up and went away. So I moved back to doing this sketch so I can do some pyrography, and completely forgot to change the stream title. So thank you for the reminder. Right. What's it look like now? Apart from the fact he looks like he's got very vacant eyes. That looks a little bit off. I do like seeing this in the output window though. It kind of reminds me of drawing with a graphics tablet. Which I kind of haven't done for a long time because I've got a Cintiq, so I can actually draw on screen on the screen. That's beginning to look actually better. This is too light. This is where really I suppose I should get something like a 6H pencil out. Sorry, a 6B pencil out. Now, effectively, all of this is just this here is just shadow. If he's got a light shining right in his face, so almost it's like a bit like that Salute to Sunset. The sun's quite low, or in this case I assume it's been done with a studio light that I'm looking at, and the lion's got the lights right in his face. Now, this is actually quite a useful technique for sharpening your pencil as well. If you sort of use pencils to do sort of shading like this, because if you just slowly rotate the pencil in your fingers, because you're taking sort of the graphite off the side of the pencil itself actually gets sharper. And I was a long time ago when I was at school, and I was doing what we used to call technical drawing then, but draftsmanship or all sorts of things you might call it instead. One of the things that they were always on about is, because sharpening a pencil is something you don't really want to do a lot of, is when you're drawing, for example, rotate the pencil. If you rotate the pencil, you keep the point sharp, and you don't have to keep sharpening it. And when you did sharpen it, you use sandpaper, not a sharpener, or a sharp blade, because if you put it in a sharpener, you tend to crack the graphite. I seem to have a sort of a rim shadow going on around there, which probably makes sense in a way. Actually brought that a bit too far down. I think it's meant to be sort of. Let's get rid of a little bit of that. Put the fur back in. That's kind of like the shadow from the ear. Well, I didn't really intend to spend a lot of time actually detailing a drawing, but I'm kind of enjoying just drawing. So although I'm going to transfer this to pyrography later, it's kind of fun just having a go at pencil drawing, which I haven't done for absolutely ages. I'm actually a lot more pleased with that head now than I was. Still not sure quite what's... Still something that's not quite right with it, but... it's probably... I don't know, maybe it might be a bit too long, I think. Probably the ear's a bit too far back. Possibly I haven't quite got the right shape with it, but it's fun. So let's see if I can just do a little bit of light shading. I said light. If I was going to do a lot, I guess one of the things I probably want at this point is a rubbing stick, which would let me sort of just take something like that and just what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, but basically smudge it. That's the word I'm looking for. Smudge it. I don't think I've got anything that will work like that. Well, doesn't exactly work like that. I should use what I should use. I guess is a little. I threw that paper away, didn't I? What you can do is make a. You can buy these as well, but I am going to just have a go at folding that over lots of times like that, and then just twisting it really rather a lot, because I should get then is something that I can use to smudge with. So I keep covering up my chat window. Fluffy Twiglet, sorry, hello, I apologise for not seeing you there. I had the chat window covered up. The setup is completely all over the place today. For reasons that I've had Junior sit on my knee for quite some time. And WDTFSHI. I'm sure there's an easy way of saying that, but hello and welcome. If you're still around, I apologise. I kind of got engrossed. I'm enjoying drawing. Yes, pyrographing Simba. Bit young, bit old for Simba. Is this, but along that sort of lines. but I just got engrossed in what I was doing, and I covered up the chat window, and I just basically missed seeing you join. So my apologies, everybody. And then we come, because that comes out around sort of the jawline a little bit, and all the way down here as well. This pencil really isn't quite soft enough for doing that, but so at first I wasn't able to actually get the shape. I did 2 drawings first and completely failed, to the point where that's the 2 drawings which has now turned into a little bit of a smudger. But this one seems to have didn't look right at first, but I seem to have managed to I don't know, rescue it, make it, yeah, the image has arrived, shall we say. So although the intention of this was purely just to use it to do a reference for pyrography, you know, a trace down for pyrography, I've sort of now started drawing it. So I might continue with this for a little bit, actually. Well, I mean, not just tonight, but a little bit tomorrow, just because it's something I haven't done for a long time. I don't actually know whether quite how far to continue doing this, but because of course, as I say, the intention is to for it to be used for pyrography. That's probably wants to come a little bit further downwards. Maybe also have another go at Factorio at some point if I can sort out what it is that's causing the problem. Oops, there's it. Throwing my pencil all over the place. That doesn't help. Of course, for those if you're not familiar with it, using an eraser whilst you're drawing is actually often a useful tool. It's a very useful tool for applying highlights to things. And just generally obviously cleaning up the image, but if I, for example, want to highlight just around there, using an eraser to generate that is perfectly okay. LKPS, good evening and welcome. Thank you very much. You ought to see the first two attempts. This is what happened to the first two attempts. I just couldn't get the shape right. This originally wasn't intending to be a pencil drawing. It was intended to be just a pencil outline for pyrography, which is a piece of wood that's sat underneath it. And I was then going to apply pyrography. I probably still will. The only difficulty being that, I'm enjoying doing this, the pencil work on this. So I might actually have to draw it again in order to do the pyrography, because what I'd do is do a trace down. And that involves me pressing down with a pencil, and of course that actually, if I smooth off the end of something like this, then I can perhaps just use it as a trace down marker rather than using the pencil. But thank you very much, Alki Pierce. Alec Pierce. I apologise, Alec Pierce. If your life depended on it, I'm sure you'd have a very good go at doing it, sir. But this is the first time I've drawn a lion, so I'd have said exactly the same thing 2 hours ago, and even an hour ago. Well, yeah, an hour ago I'd have said exactly the same thing. It's only just with doing it that I've been able to actually do it. Thank you very much, I like Pierce. Of course, whiskers are white. Probably end up being black for the purposes of this drawing, but just because trying to put a white whisker in might be challenging, to say the least. But tell you what is, that shadow isn't quite far enough forward. Although I do think this is, I've actually probably stretched this a little bit much. Well, that's been interesting. It's been interesting because, of course, that wasn't what I intended to do. I haven't really done anything I intended to do tonight because I intended to do some pyrography. But, shall we say, various things conspired to change that. And we've ended up doing a pencil drawing, which is, I don't think, particularly finished, but it was an interesting thing, quite fun to do. Whether I continue it or whether I just use it as a trace down image to do pyrography, we shall see tomorrow, I think, because we've now come to the end of the stream. So I am going to just mention, and I notice Moobot's been rather absent tonight, but I'm going to just mention that there, the jewellery shop. I do sell jewellery, as you can see some of the images below, as well as there are some other images in there, some of the pyrography I've done before, and one or two other bits and pieces like the scraper board. They're not yet for sale in the shop, but we shall see about adding those at some point. Alec Pierce, thank you very much for following. That's very kind of you. So I do recommend, well I would, wouldn't I? It's my shop, but I do recommend checking out the shop. There may be some interesting pieces in there for either yourself or for friends and family, for Christmas or birthdays, that sort of thing. Bearing in mind that just about any piece that's there can be customised for colour as well. And there's at least 15 different colours available. Apart from that, now that advert's over, I'll do the stream advert, which is to say, if you aren't following, unlike Alec Pierce there, who has just followed, I do highly recommend you push the button, just like they did. That would be absolutely fantastic. But if you don't want to, it's okay, I don't mind. If you'd like a notification, though, without the follow, you can follow. So you can follow me without following me. But follow me on Twitter. It's at @ZeragantArt, and a tweet goes out when I go live. And occasionally for other interesting bits of art-related or stream-related things. If, on the other hand, you'd just like to try and catch me tomorrow, I will be going live at 8 PM UK time, 2000 hours UTC GMT, because our clocks adjust tomorrow, so we go back to GMT. So it's the same time now, or 2 hours ago. Strictly speaking, I suppose it's in 25 hours time, but with the clocks adjusting. But 8 PM, 2 hours back, it would actually be, it's going to get confusing. Look it up on Google. I don't know what time it will be in your time zone tomorrow if you're not in the GMT time zone. My brain isn't doing the maths. Thank you everybody for watching, and hopefully, we'll see what we do tomorrow. Hopefully we'll get onto some pyrography. But thank you all again, and I hope I'll see you in the future. Bye for now.